Hey you guys, this is Jess with Sourceful Journey, back with another video. I wanted to do one more video for today, just really touching up on a quick story time. It's more so dealing with my past with my ex. Yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and jump right in. So quick story time. So as you guys know, I was actually in a recent relationship with someone. It was like a little bit over a year. Well, it's been well over a year now since I had last had any communications with them, because I broke it off with them. This individual was definitely what I would consider to be a karmic. We were actually together for 14 years. You heard me correctly, 14. Now, what was interesting, we had a good run. We had our good times and our bad times, more good than bad. But there was one thing that I have a zero tolerance for. And for me personally, is cheating. I don't play around when it comes to cheating. He stepped out on our relationship a couple of times. It might have been with the same person, not quite sure. And I'm thinking it was one of his exes before, that he was with before, him and I had got together. It's so funny how the spiritual world works. So I was aware of him doing it without him even finally confessing to it. So he eventually confessed that he was doing it and that it was going on for some time. What I think might have startled him was that I knew other details too, that he hasn't even shared with me just yet at that given point. I was aware of the fact that not only did he, cheat on me with his ex, but at the same time, he ended up having a kid. He had a kid in the process. And so I think that might have startled him. I'm pretty sure he was wondering. He probably still wonders to this day. How does she know that? How did she know that? Spiritual realm is something else, especially for a lot of us who are tapped in. If you know, you know. I'm used to getting those type of responses from a lot of people, whether it's like I mentioned to you guys in previous videos, whether it's my co-workers that I've worked with past and present, or if it was family, old friends, now my ex. I think it kind of startled him to know that I knew those details in advance. If you haven't figured it out yet, now you know. I also got wind of some information too, that the very individual that he cheated on me with somehow gave him an STD. I just heard it through the grapevine, through a certain individual that we both know that informed me of this recently. Oh, how the cookie crumbles. When I got wind of that he ended up getting an STD from this individual that he cheated on me with, I was just like, it only had to be karma. Because the very stuff that you put me through, right? For one to even think that you can get away with it, and for karma not to lose your address, you're one fool. The way I look at it, even going through that scenario, I know I was a bit bitter, I was hurt when it came to, sorry about that, you guys, I was getting a notification. When it comes to how I felt after I broke it off with him, just knowing how hurt I was, how disgruntled I was, it took some time to heal. I was bitter for a while, went into hermit mode. If you know, you know. But coming from all of that, it allowed me to find myself again. And as I mentioned in a previous video, I wouldn't trade it for the world. And the fact that he's even considering contacting me, to see if anything can be revamped, can happen again between us. I'm just gonna share this with him because I got wind of that too from our friend. Don't even think about it because I'm not interested. Don't even waste, honestly, don't even waste your breath. I'm saving you the time and the headache of trying to plan this out to see if we can actually connect again. I'm just gonna share it with you here versus sharing it with our friend. Don't even waste your breath. I'm not interested. And I'm sure you're gonna go back and talk to your friend like, well, why did you go tell her about this? Why did you tell her that? Well, we discussed. You can have that conversation as much as you want. It's not for anything for me to worry about. But I figured instead of us just, doing this back and forth, or me even like sharing details with our friend about it to pass on to you, I was gonna just pass it along to you here on this YouTube channel. Yeah, because at the end of the day, that door is officially closed and it's sealed off. Cement and steel, the whole nine. So don't even try breaking through it. Especially if you are walking around with an incurable STD. I don't want anything to do with that. And why would you even think that would even allow you to come into my even into my existence, into my dwelling space, as an example, to even give you a chance to try to connect with me again? The fact that you even considered this and thought that there was a possibility that it could happen, that we are meant to be together, you sound like a lunatic. So, in other words, you and that incurable STD and that ex of yours, or your whoever she is to you now, and your new baby, you guys can stay over there. Don't even think about looking this way. So, more of the story, you guys. It's kind of like a combination of things here in terms of this conversation. It was more so a message for him, but at the same time, it's a message to you guys as well. When it comes to those who are considered karmics, just leave them. Leave them where they are. They are karmic for a reason. They are truly a part of one's awakening, for you to understand more about self, what needs to be amplified and what needs to be changed, what needs to be taken out of the equation. With him, I think for me, it was more so I was forgetting about self. I was so gung-ho on making sure that he was happy rather than focusing on my happiness too in the process. You get to a point you also feel like you're becoming codependent. Prior to me beginning with my ex, I was always very much independent. Can't help but think about that song that they used to play back in the day. Was it Bootsy? I think it was Lil Bootsy or something like that. Where he's spelling the word independent out. That was a hit back in the day. But I was that girl, But then when I got with him, I started to become codependent. Now, mind you, I was still working. Haven't had any time out. I've literally only had 1 year out of my entire adult existence where I did not work. And it was because of the surgeries I had to go through, like I mentioned in the previous video with my story time. That was the only time I've ever taken time out where I did not work in any shape, form, or fashion. But even while with him and me working 1, 2, 3, as I'm saying this, I still found myself to be at some level or another codependent on him. And of course, him being the man of the house, him being like the breadwinner, as a woman, you think that that's how it's supposed to be, that you continue to make your paycheck too if you want. But ultimately, it all falls on this person because he's the man, he's the head. He's supposed to be the head, technically, right? But I think we know nowadays that's not all necessarily true, especially with the fact that so many partners, so many of these men that are our partners are starting to drop the ball. And I pray for the day that actually changes. And the notion of having a strong family front comes back to the focal point. I truly pray for that day. So yeah, with that being said, I just wanted to do this quick little story time with you guys, kind of giving the latest that I found out. I think it's going to be probably surprising to him to know, like, wow, how does she know about that information? Well, of course, because I was just informed by one of our friends. I'm not going to tell you who, but I'm going to let you figure that out on your own. And then probably you need to have that conversation with them. Like, why are you going telling her? Because yeah, now I know the fact that you not only cheated on me with that ex. I found that out well in advance. But I also found out that you had a kid with this girl, and that, yeah, you now have taken on an STD, an incurable one. And I guess your plan was to try to find your way back into my life to share it. I don't want it. But it was good knowing you. That's for sure. Feel free to share your thoughts, you guys, in the comment section below. Also, you can send me responses through my other platforms and email. That's fine too. Consultations are still open. So, especially because we're getting ready to go into a new week. It's so hard to believe that, we're getting ready to roll into a new week here. It moves so fast. It's kind of like that saying, time flies when you're having fun. It truly is, and I mean that genuinely, because ever since me embarking on this journey, it's been nothing but fun. You start to learn more about self. You start to be more tapped in and aware of what's going on in various aspects of your life. And as time progresses onward, you start to realize that those nudges or those things that you were unsure about start to be revealed to you, which makes you more sure about what's going on. And this is a prime example of that. Like, I knew early on when I was getting these nudges, or whatever you want to call it, I prefer nudges, but I knew at that point, I was like, well, maybe I'm reading it wrong. But then as time progressed onward and I started getting like tidbits of information, not only from other sources, but also from individuals that I am connected to, that we were both connected to in this case, that are like confirming, yeah, this is in fact what's going on. So yeah, see all that to say, again, time flies when you're truly having fun. If you're having any issues with booking a consultation via the link below, just message me on the other platforms, or you can send me a quick email. I get it there as well, letting me know what date and time you would like to set up a consultation. I can then schedule you on my site accordingly. But in the meantime, as always, I am definitely sending you guys with love and light, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a good one, you guys.